Hey guys, welcome back to FPL Gameweek 20 review / 21. Now, Game Week 21 isn't until the 14th, so it's not this weekend, it will be in midweek next week. So there will be two FPL videos coming. So this week is more looking at what happened last week, and then the one later during the week will be where we make our transfers and pick our lineup. But we're going to still go over team of the week, which was obviously Sells in goal for Forest. Kurtzes from Bournemouth, 12 points there. Van der Berg from Brentford, 10 points. Muriel from Forest, 9 points. Bemo with 19 points. He did amazingly. However, I will talk about him later. Savio for Man City, 13 points after they finally got a win. Barkley with 10 points. McAllister with 10 points. Rao with 13 points. Haaland with 13 points. And also Wazza up top for Brentford with 11 points. So we're going to look at the most transfer ins and outs. So Gordon in, which I think is a good transfer in. Hall in, yes, that's a good one. And Bemo, no. And I'll tell you why when we get to the transfer bit, because of the fixtures. Isaac, yes. Savio, no. I don't think it's a good transfer. I think Man City are too inconsistent, and there's no point taking that risk. Transfers out, Jackson, I understand. Chelsea have been very poor lately. Maddison, I'd be looking at Kulusevski if I had a Spurs player. Diaz out. I understand it because of Liverpool's rotation, but yeah, Cunha and Enzo, obviously there. So looking at the points, it was a very disappointing week this week. Below average, 56 points. Highest was 136. Sells in goal, which obviously got us a clean sheet, which kind of helped. The defensive line was awful. Robinson 1 point, Saliba 2 points, and Virgil van Dijk 2 points. 1 point, sorry, and Burn 1 point. So no clean sheets, no assists for any of my defenders or goals this week. I kind of knew Liverpool might concede against United. Obviously, United should have won the game. Unbelievable scenes. The way they played, the chances at the end. I think the penalty was definitely a penalty. There's no denying that. However, De Ligt should have done better from that defending point. Saliba, this is a very disappointing result again for Arsenal. So that's 9. Burn. I had a slight feeling that it wasn't going to be a clean sheet, but I took the risk anyway because even though Enzo did nothing anyway, so it didn't really matter. In the midfield, Palmer, Salah, 10 points, 14 points for Salah, captain of course. Diaz didn't do anything in that game, played 60 minutes, and I can understand why people are reluctant to sell him because of the minutes. Obviously, Gakpo, McAllister, and all those players that can play, Jones that can play in the middle. We're not going to sell him just yet. Isaac 7 points, Wood 8 points, which is obviously very good for the strike force. Jackson again, Chelsea 1-1, 80 minutes played, didn't even play the full game and didn't score. Pickford 4 points, which is good, but obviously Sells did better. Rogers 0 points because obviously his suspension. FaZe 1 point and Enzo 1 point, which means we stayed where we are in the both leagues. However, it's very close. Before we look at those, we'll look at the highest scores. So we had Martinez in goal, 2 points. Guardiola 2 points. Collins 6, Hall 2. Gordon, Savio and Bemo captain, which is a good shout to be honest. Bailey, Watkins, Haaland, Wazza, bench boost of Sells, Kluivert, Sabrio and Kens. So he's got three Bournemouth players all on the bench. Sells in goal. Not a bad team. So leagues, so we stayed 5th, but we've kind of let the gap go. We knew obviously lads on tour we're never going to catch anyway. We've been saying that for the last 7 weeks, but we've been overtook now and we've let the gap kind of grow because we had a couple of poor games. Gilly on fire, 100 points last week, 84 this week. But yeah, we've let the gap drop. It is only 50 points. It can be reduced, but we need to get the points right in the next 2 or 3 weeks if we have a chance of climbing back up, because people behind us are starting to gain on us now, and that comfortable last 3-4 weeks where we had those bad results but we were fine, has now started to come back to haunt us. In for the mini league, again Tyler there, 60 points, been around between 60 and 50 points for the last 2 or 3 weeks, so the gap's not grown or not been reduced, so we're staying about the same pace. You can see 55 points for him, 56 for me, so there was 1 point difference in the gap, but people behind us like Matt will be closing down very shortly. Gavin is still 100 points behind, but he had 2 good weeks, so points can be gained, because everyone below us did better than us, which is a bit worrying when the gap can be changed within weeks. Looking at obviously transfers, I've made 1, which means obviously we haven't got a free transfer. However, obviously the games aren't till next Tuesday, so we'll get another free transfer on Monday, and we have 0.9 million to spend. And I kind of got a plan that I want to do. So the one transfer we made was Burn to Hull. We're staying with that Newcastle defence. However, Hull does get that chance to go forward, does get that chance to get assist, and I believe Dan Burn is just 1 yellow card away from suspension, and I'm not willing to take that risk of keeping him in the side. The other transfers that I do want to make are Diaz to get replaced to Gordon, because the fixtures for them are very, very nice, and like I said, Diaz is Diaz's games are good, but obviously his minutes vary, and that is a problem. When Liverpool have so many good attacking players, you never know who's going to start, and with FPL you don't want to take the risk of having someone who's on the bench and then having to come on to impact the game. So the changes will be obviously Gordon in, Diaz out. I'm then looking to hold Jackson probably until Brighton. So he has Bournemouth. He can get a goal. Hopefully Chelsea can get Bournemouth, Wolves. City will be a hard one. Probably will sit on the bench. West Ham we can definitely get goals. Brighton. And then I'll be looking probably to swap Jackson for Cunha, because obviously he's got Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal, Villa, Liverpool. Then obviously that will be the game that he gets swapped in for, and he has that good fixture of Bournemouth, Fulham, Everton, Southampton, West Ham, Ipswich. Game against Spurs, which I think he can get a goal. He can definitely get a goal against United's defence, Leicester, and then obviously Man City there will probably be where we transfer him out for potentially a big signing at the end of the season. And the only other player I want to get rid of is Enzo. This triple Chelsea thing isn't doing any good, and therefore I want to go to Ahmed. I've avoided Man United players all season. However, Ahmed has been on the fire, and for less than 5.5 million, he might be one of the best players. He's form 9 points. He's got a couple of goals in big games, and he's got 80 points, which is not bad. Some fixtures that Man United should get some wins in, need to get wins in, and I think he's the man that steps up the most. So yeah, Ahmed will be transferred in for Enzo. We're not going to make transfers yet because I'm not going to take minus points, but we'll wait for that free transfer next week to make the change for Gordon. So let's just reset that, which is fine. Moving into pick team. So we're still waiting on the assistant manager chip to come into play. But the team we're probably going to go is switch Sells out because they've got Liverpool, Forest. So Pickford probably come into the goal. I'm going to probably drop Diaz for Rodgers. Saliba might have to come out for Diaz because I do have Spurs. Obviously, this team isn't confirmed because we still have got 6 days before the game anyway. But this is a rough early prediction of what my lineup will be like. It's a little toss up. Obviously, do I take the risk with Saliba against Spurs? They've not been very defensively sound recently. So let me know in the comments down below. Is this a good team, or should I take the risk? Put Saliba back in. Not Salah. Not dropping the captain. For Diaz. And run a 4-3-3. Let me know in the comments down below. If you did like my early prediction, because there will be another video where we do decide what team we're going to send out. We do make that transfer for Diaz to Gordon, which will probably change the lineup anyway. But let me know in the comments down below how you're doing in your leagues. What transfers have you made? And what are your plans for the rest of the season? Thank you for watching, guys. I'll see you later in the week for the actual team selection. Goodbye.